You can run flawless proxies and flawless fingerprints and still watch a whole fleet vanish in one afternoon. The link that killed it was never on the device or the network. It was sitting in the account details the entire time, in a shared card, a reused phone number, a recovery email that quietly tied 10 supposedly separate identities into one. This is the account graph, and it is the layer that undoes the most careful technical setups, because it does not care how good your browser or your proxy is. This is how it works, and how to keep it clean. What the account graph is. The account graph is the web of links a platform builds not from spying on your device, but from the details you handed directly and voluntarily: your payment method, your recovery phone, your recovery email, your contacts, your referrals. Every one of these is a piece of identity you give the platform on purpose, and the platform quietly records which accounts share which of them. When two accounts share enough of these, the platform draws a line between them in its own internal records, a line that has nothing to do with fingerprints or addresses and cannot be scrubbed by any browser setting. Why it beats the technical layers? This is what makes the graph so dangerous. A shared fingerprint or a shared address is technical, and technical things can be separated with the right tools, but a shared card or a shared recovery number is a fact in the platform's database, a hard link it recorded when you entered the same detail twice. No antidetect profile reaches into the platform's records and unlinks two accounts that share a phone number. The graph sits above the whole technical stack, immune to it, which is exactly why the most sophisticated setups still die to the simplest mistake: reusing one boring detail across accounts that were supposed to be strangers. The shared card, the classic connector, and the one that wipes out the most fleets, is a single payment method funding many accounts. You set up a dozen carefully isolated identities, each on its own profile and proxy, and then you pay for all of them with the same card, and in that instant you have handed the platform a perfect list of which accounts belong together. The card is a hard identifier. The moment one of those accounts is flagged, the platform looks at everything sharing its payment method and pulls the whole set. Every technical wall you built is bypassed by the billing screen. Furnissendi, a recovery phone number is just as strong a link and quieter because it sits in the settings where you forget about it. One number listed as the recovery contact on several accounts ties them together in the platform's records regardless of how separate everything else is. People reuse a number without thinking it is just for recovery, and that single reused number becomes the thread that connects the fleet. The phone number does not need to be used actively to link the accounts. Simply existing as a shared recovery contact is enough to draw the line. The shared recovery email is the same trap in a different field. A recovery or contact email reused across accounts, or a set of addresses that all obviously funnel into one inbox, links the identities through the platform's records. Even addresses that look different can betray a shared owner if they all forward to one place or follow an obvious pattern. The recovery email is meant to prove an account belongs to you, and when the same one proved that for 10 accounts, it has just proven all 10 belong to the same you. Treat every account's email as part of its separate identity, not a shared utility. The address book overlap, then there is the social layer. When accounts upload contacts, or share large chunks of the same address book, or all connect to the same handful of other accounts, the platform sees the overlap and infers a relationship. A set of accounts that all know the same people, or all uploaded the same contact list, look related because, in the platform's eyes, they are. This one catches people who keep the payment and recovery details clean but never think about the contact graph. Who your accounts know is itself a linking signal, and mass identical contact overlap is a loud one. The referral loop. Referrals close a loop that is easy to walk into. If a batch of accounts all trace back to the same inviter or invite each other in a tidy ring, the platform can see that they all originate from one source. Referral chains are recorded precisely so the platform can understand where accounts come from, and a chain that loops back to one person over and over is a clear coordination signal. Inviting your own accounts to each other feels efficient and is a direct confession of common ownership written into the referral records. The billing address tells, even with different cards, the billing details can give you away. The same name, the same billing address, the same details attached to every payment across supposedly independent accounts is a link as clear as a shared card. Platforms and their payment processors read the whole billing record, not just the card number. So payment separation is not only about using different cards, it is about the identity attached to each payment looking genuinely distinct where the accounts are meant to be distinct. The same person's name on every receipt undoes the effort of using separate cards. Virtual cards and their limits. Virtual and single-use cards can help create real payment separation, and they are a genuinely useful tool, but they are not a magic wand, and treating them as one is a mistake. If a stack of virtual cards all draw from one funding source, that shared source can still be the link depending on what the platform and processor can see, and the billing identity attached still has to hold up. Virtual cards are a good instrument for genuine separation when used thoughtfully, but they do not erase a shared funding origin or a shared name behind them. Understand what they actually separate before relying on them. Separating payments cleanly. Clean payment hygiene means each identity that pays for anything has a genuinely distinct path, distinct method, distinct billing identity where appropriate, distinct enough that the accounts do not obviously share a wallet. This is honestly the hardest layer to get right, which is exactly why it catches so many people and why it is worth the most careful thought. The technical layers have tools that make separation almost automatic. The payment layer takes real deliberate effort per identity, and there is no shortcut that makes 10 accounts on one wallet look independent, because they are not. The legitimate business exception, there is an honest version of shared details, and it is worth naming clearly. If your accounts are genuinely part of one real declared business, an agency running client accounts, a company with several legitimate profiles, then platforms actually have provisions for that. Declared, linked, above-board relationships are allowed, and trying to hide a legitimate business relationship is often more suspicious than simply declaring it. The graph is a problem when you are pretending unrelated accounts are strangers. When the accounts really are related and you are honest about it, the right move is to use the platform's own tools for that, not to hide it.
When the passions habe shine.
Pulling the recovery details together into a routine. Each account gets its own email, ideally aged rather than freshly created in the same batch as the account, and not all funneling transparently into one hub. Each account that needs a number gets its own reel where it counts, never reused as another account's recovery contact. These two details, email and phone, are the quiet threads that link more fleets than any flashy technical mistake, precisely because they feel too small to matter. They are not small, they are hard identifiers in the platform's records, and they deserve the same separation discipline as the device and the proxy. The funding source behind the cards, separation at the card level can still fail one layer deeper, at the funding source. A stack of different cards or virtual cards that all draw from the same bank account or the same wallet can, depending on what the processor and platform can see, still trace back to one origins. The visible card numbers differ, but the money all comes from one place, and that shared root can be the link. Real payment separation means thinking about the whole chain, not just the last card in it, and understanding that a dozen instruments funded from one source may be far less separate than they look on the surface. Loyalty and rewards details. The quieter identity fields catch careful people off guard. Loyalty numbers, rewards accounts, saved addresses, autofill profiles, all of these are identity details that can link accounts if reused, and they hide in places you never think to separate. A saved shipping address, reused across accounts, a rewards number attached to several, a phone number quietly autofilled into a sign-up, each is a thread. The discipline that keeps cards and emails separate has to extend to every small identity field a platform collects, because the graph is built from all of them, not only the obvious ones. How the graph gets seeded at sign-up. The graph starts forming the instant an account is created from the very details the sign-up asks for. The name, the birth date, the address, the number, the payment method, entered at the start all go straight into the platform's records as the account's identity, and any of them reused becomes an immediate link before the account has done anything at all. This is why hygiene has to be right from the first screen, not patched later. An account born sharing details with others is linked from birth, and no amount of careful behavior afterward unlinks what the sign-up form already recorded. Auditing the graph and the honest limit, because these links hide in settings you rarely look at, audit them deliberately. Go through your accounts and ask what they secretly share, which card, which number, which email, which contacts, which referral origin, and fix any overlap before a ban wave finds it for you. Keep records so the shared details are visible at a glance rather than buried, and hold the honest limit in view. Clean payment and identity hygiene prevents the cascade. It stops one flagged account from dragging the fleet down. It does not make any single account behave, and it does not excuse reckless activity. It guarantees only that when one account falls, it falls alone. I keep my own payment and identity layer as carefully separated as my proxies and profiles, distinct methods, distinct emails, distinct numbers, no shared recovery thread across accounts, because I learned the hard way that the account graph bypasses every technical wall you build. Multi-account ops.com has the full written breakdown of the account graph, a clean separation checklist for payments and recovery details, and honest guidance on the legitimate business path. No affiliate guesswork, just the hygiene I actually run. If you want to stop the one shared detail that wipes out fleets, that is the place to start. Subscribe for more honest, tested multi-account ops. Next time, scaling from 5 to 50 accounts without losing control, the records, the routines, and the systems you have to build before you need them rather than after everything is already on fire.